What if the key to scaling your business wasn't another Zoom meeting? What if it was just zoning out on a walk? In this episode of the Crown Yourself podcast, we are diving into just that and how you can start strategically slacking to scale. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Crown Yourself podcast, where together we build your empire and transform your subconscious stories about what's possible for your business, body, and life. I'm your host, Kimberly Spencer, founder of crownyourself.com, and I'm a master mindset coach, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, known to my clients as a game changer. Each week, you get the conscious leadership strategies you need to help you reign with courage, clarity, and confidence so that you too can make the income and impact you deserve. Imagine this podcast as your royal invitation to step into your full potential and reign in your divine purpose. Your sovereignty starts here, and your reign is now. Welcome back to another episode of the Crown Yourself podcast. I am so excited to have you here as your host, Kimberly Spencer. I was working with one of my clients who was knee-deep in multiple projects, and all of them required her full attention. Like, there were multiple balls in the air, and she had to actually focus on all of them. The problem is that she didn't have space to solve the problem. As her coach, I saw multiple projects, but all were correlated to the singular problem that she needed to start solving in her business. What I recommended is that she practice the art of strategic slacking. So as high performers, the last thing we want to be called is a slacker. We're like, no, we're writing books. We are creating businesses. We're raising humans. Like, we're doing all the things. The last thing we want to be called is lazy or a slacker. However, what it did require is a shift in prioritization, but she didn't have the space. She didn't have the mental capacity to actually process what that shift in prioritization was going to be. So her task was, for a week, she had to carve out at least 30 minutes of her time for strategic slacking. And what strategic slacking is, it is an intentional space creation designed to solve a specific business problem or a specific life problem. I mean, this doesn't have to just be for business. This can also be for a relational problem, a problem that you're dealing with your kids. It's through nonlinear embodied thinking. So if you've ever been that person who, when you sit down at the page at your computer and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Like, what do I write for my content? I mean, now with AI, everyone's using that, but like, what do I even ask AI? Like, does this even sound like me? How can I even program things to feel like me? What is this problem that I need to solve? How can I say this effectively? How can I influence this person effectively on my team? Or how can I influence my teenager to just, come home at a decent hour? All of these things that you have going in your brain. What slacking does, strategic slacking, it activates your default mode network. So it's your brain's problem solving factory. But the problem is most people are too involved with the doing of the day to day, and they're just going. They're just doing all the things, which doesn't give them the space to see. And a true visionary requires space to see. That's literally what the word visionary means, like visionary. You have to have vision. You have to be able to see the entire forest, even the entire continent where the forest lives, from the trees. If you're down in the trees doing all the doings, you don't have the space, literally the space, to see the forest through the trees, to see the systems, to see the map, to see the roadmap of where you can go, of how you can get to where you want to go and achieve your goals. When my clients started adopting this principle of strategic slacking, first and foremost, she didn't know how she was going to carve out 30 minutes in her day. And I said, well, that is for you to figure out, because this is a non-negotiable. And so she ended up waking up a little earlier, carving out 30 minutes to just take the morning and go on a walk. And when she started to go on the walk, it took a couple days, because at first she was like, Kim, nothing's coming. And I was like, give it time. After a couple days and her nervous system started to chill the F out, her body started to become more receptive Now, the thing is that your unconscious mind runs your body. And so and your unconscious mind is tied to higher consciousness. So if you want to pull new ideas out of the ether, they're not going to come from conscious mindedness, meaning your natural way of thinking. As Albert Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem from the same consciousness that created it. So in order to solve a new problem, in order to face a problem, you have to literally evolve your consciousness to a new level. How do you do that? Well, in order to do that, you need to have space and you need to have the body open to receive, because sometimes the body knows before the brain does, because your brain has its default mode, its default conscious minded mode of how it's regularly programmed to think. What strategic slacking does is this allows you to access the unconscious mind and the ability to leverage that, which is tied to higher consciousness and or collective consciousness. So this collective consciousness, higher consciousness, for the good of all around, if you set that intention in your consciousness of, here is the problem I'm going to solve, here's the question around that problem, here's what I'm focusing on for the good of all involved, how can I solve this problem? First, you have to name the bottleneck, the block, the thing that's keeping you stuck. I'm sure you've heard it said in personal development, you got to name it to tame it. For example, why is my offer not converting? So as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of why questions, because they'll spiral you down into limiting beliefs, excuses, reasons, all that. But you can ask yourself, how can I create an offer that does convert? What and how questions will move you a lot faster. So how can I create an offer that does convert? What would I have to change in my offer to make it convert higher? Those are better questions, because then your subconscious mind, which is the seeker, starts to go on a journey looking for the answer. Once you look at the bottleneck, you ask a what or a how question specifically, then set the intention before slacking and show me the solution. So you command your unconscious mind. And what this is doing is you're building rapport between your conscious mind and your unconscious mind. So show me the solution to having this offer convert. Give me the solution. How can I have this? I like open-ended questions. That's how my unconscious mind works. I actually don't like sentence prompts like, my offer converts if I just do and like fill in the blank, and then like my unconscious mind just doesn't work that way. It likes to have an open-ended strategic question in a what or a how format. Some journal prompts are the, sentence fill in the blank of, my offer will convert if I just do. And then you leave that up to your unconscious mind. You get to feel out what's good and right for you and what works for you. But set that intention and command your unconscious mind, because your unconscious mind, it desires to please. It's one of the prime directives of your unconscious mind in NLP. And so you want to command it. Let it know. Please go out and show me the answer. Help me find a solution to having this high converting offer. And then choose your slacking style. Personally, for me, I like something that involves physical movement, because movement moves. And sometimes when you're feeling stuck, like let's just look at the language of feeling stuck. There's no movement. So if you're doing something like walking or going on the elliptical or taking a walk outside or doing some form of dance or exotic dance, or not exotic dance, doing some form of dance in some way, like just free dancing around your home, turn on some music, let the answers come to you. Journaling can be another way. You are moving your hand, but you want to allow for that to move. Now you can habit stack your slacking and see if that works, like doing the dishes or doing the laundry, and then let that question just pepper into your unconscious mind as you're just doing this rote task and letting yourself just kind of think about that. That is a form of habit stacking, which we talked about in the last podcast episode. So you can habit stack by doing laundry, dishes, something that doesn't require thinking, and allow yourself to be in that space. I highly recommend, as a mompreneur of 3 children, you do not do this around your kids. You are biologically wired as a parent to be looking out for danger for them, not for your business. Biologically wired to look out for danger for them. So your brain will not be able to fully relax into strategic slacking. So keep this space sacred. The one thing I would suggest not doing, not only not being with your kids while strategic slacking, but the other thing is doom scrolling. Like technically doom scrolling or scrolling on your phone can feel like strategic slacking. We can use that as an excuse, but the problem is you're getting a lot of input information from collective consciousness that's already in the consciousness. It's not coming from source. It's not coming from higher consciousness. It's not coming from the greater collective higher power, whatever you choose to have that be, God, source, universe. It's not coming from there. It's coming from what people have already translated into conscious language. So you need to be that channel to have it come through you in your own words and how it works for you. So put your phone on do not disturb. If you use your phone at all, have it just be your notes pad to just type some notes down. I do this while walking, like outside specifically. This is one that I love to use outside walking. I'll take my phone because I do like to track how many steps I'm going and the miles and all that because I'm training for a half marathon. And I have my phone just on the notes. And that's the only thing that I have available. I'm not looking at Facebook. I'm not looking at Instagram. I'm not looking at any social things. I am just present with the moment and with the question and letting the answers come. And because I'm in motion and I'm in momentum, answers come a lot faster because I'm moving my body. And because your body is the domain of your unconscious mind, it likes it when you move. So you got to move it. Now, record and capture. The last step is to just record and capture the downloads as they come. Capture them immediately. Don't say, okay, remember this for later. Use a voice memo, use your notes app. You can journal if you have it nearby. If you're in motion, sometimes that's not the most effective, is to like bring a pen and paper. If that works for you, you can always have that in your back pocket. I did have a very high level entrepreneur client who always carried around a pen and paper. And that was his way of just jotting things down. He would always have a little notepad, but do what's good and right for you. Feel it out, whether it's a voice note, a notes app, and then go back to it. So for example, this episode came from strategic slacking, and strategic slacking, I was driving. I was just driving. Driving can be a great way to do strategic slacking. In fact, I believe it was Sarah Blakely, who is the founder of Spanx, who reported doing drives as a way to just activate that visionary space. And I love Sarah Blakely. So do those things that are right for you. And again, driving is doing something that actually puts you into motion. So you might not physically be in motion, but you are in motion, moving your body through space via a vehicle. That can be a great way. Biking, anything that puts you into motion, because as Tony Robbins says, money loves momentum. And the more you can be in motion, the more you're signaling motion and moving through the stuckness that you're currently stuck on with the problem. This is exactly what we are doing inside of the collective, our new conscious leadership and coaching membership, where we strategize through softness, not through just burnout force, trying to just beat ourselves down and just achieve results. This is strategic slacking, is how you quantum leap through integration, not through exhaustion. If you want to learn how to build more space with soul, and if you want to jump in on the wait list for the collective, it is available right now. Get on the wait list for our next launch, because your next $1 million idea will not come from your inbox. It just won't. It will come from you being brave enough to actually stop checking it. As always, my fellow sovereigns, own your throne, mind your business, because your reign.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If what you heard resonated with you, be sure to subscribe and start creating a bigger impact now by sharing this with a friend. Just by doing that one simple act of kindness, you are creating a royal ripple to support more people in their sovereignty. And if you're not already following on social media, connect with me everywhere at crownyourself.now for more inspiration. I am so excited to connect with you in the next episode. And in the meantime, go out there and create a body, business, and life that rules. Because today, you crown yourself.